Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 8th episode of Closing Out the Week with the Closers Podcast. I am your host, Marco Alvarado, and today we're going to preview the Closers Podcast Alumni League, which features many fan-favorite guests from the past, I don't know, how long have I been doing this podcast? Like 5 months now, I believe, since April. I'm not going to count because I don't have time for that. But I think it's about 5 months. We're 20 episodes deep in like the actual like podcast episode, full length episodes. So I think it's about 5 months. I can't really do math right now. I'm super tired. I'm recording this at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday, the 29th. Yeah, the 29th. Thursday the 29th. There's some preseason games still going on in the NFL. But before we preview this league and I go team by team and break it down for everybody here, I'm just got to say, please follow us at the Closers Podcast on Instagram, at Closers Podcast on Facebook, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we post videos with the audio of every episode, excluding episode 19, which is a live stream. You should be able to find everything there for your listening and viewing pleasure. So without further ado, let me talk about this league a little bit. So this idea for me to kind of make this fantasy football league that is comprised of Closers Podcast alumni a thing came probably about a month ago. I was restarting the league for everybody, and I realized, there's everyone that's in this league, aside from Spencer, who will be on this podcast soon, is an ex-guest of the podcast. And I felt like that was very special, and I wanted to document that for everybody because I feel like it's entertaining. If you're a hardcore fan of this podcast, which I wonder if there are any hardcore fans of this podcast. I don't know if there are. But if you are, or if you've even listened to most of the podcast, most of the episodes, you will have heard some, if not most of these guests, these people that own these teams, and you probably have a favorite guest out of them. You're probably going to root for one person specifically to win this league. Regardless if you watch fantasy football or not watch it, Jesus Christ. If you follow fantasy football or football in general, or if you don't, you're going to have somebody that you're going to be tied to for personal reasons, for just because you liked how they, talked about politics in Chase's case, or how they broke down, the Raiders' odds in Thomas's case, and, or how you liked Andrew's ability to stay cool while he was literally burning up inside of his mouth on the live stream. Like, there's just so many people. Like, my parents are in it. It's just it makes so much sense as to why I should have done this, and I'm so excited to do it. So without further ado, let me go team by team, and we'll talk about each specific person's team, but let me just go on down the list right now. So we got, this isn't going to be the order that I'm going in. Well, actually, it will be. So we got my team, Marco Alvarado. I'm the Grave Boys. We got Jason Harms II, who was on with my cousin and his girlfriend, Mariah Gonzalez, who is a professional cheerleader for a professional sports team. I'm contractually not able to specify any further than that, but she is a professional cheerleader, and he is always very competitive in the league, even though his first round players always get hurt in the league. Historically, he had what's his name? He had Le'Veon Bell last year, and he sat out, and then he had David Johnson the year before, and he got hurt the first week of the season. So he's very unlucky. Jason's very unlucky, and I'm sorry for him. But if you remember that episode where I talked to my cousin and himself, it was a very entertaining podcast, and I definitely recommend every single podcast that I'm going to be mentioning. Then we got Andrew Gale, and his team's name is Uncle Drew. And he has been on, I believe, 2 podcasts. He's been on my NFL offseason recap podcast, which I filmed, or I believe I recorded that in the end of June or end of May. I think it was end of May. Recorded that end of May. I don't remember actually, but go listen to that one if you want a recap of the NFL offseason. His team is looking pretty formidable. So then we got Evan Alves, and his team name is the Gucci Gangstas. He was on episode 5. No, not episode 5. Episode 7? I forget the exact episode, but he was on a podcast where we recapped or previewed the NBA Finals. The episode in which I predicted how the finals were going to go, and I basically predicted it to a T. I predicted that the Raptors were going to win and that they were going to play with size and speed, and that was going to be enough to quelch the desire of the Warriors to beat triple-time champions. And I was right. So if you want to see me be right, go and listen to that one with Evan on it. Then I got my mom, Patricia Alvarado, and her team name is Rojo y Oro, which is red and gold for those gringos out there. She was on a Closing Out the Week about 3 weeks ago, I believe. 4? I don't remember any of these fucking things. So sorry, but just go and look. She was on a Closing Out the Week, where she talked about her time modeling when she was younger, and what advice she would give to people getting into the modeling industry, or just advice in general for life. Pretty awesome podcast. I love that one. Then I got my man, the OG guest, as I call him. He was my first guest ever, and he's an integral part of the Closers podcast. None other than Quinn, the Moondog Kalani. His team name is the Stockton Slappers. He's been on a multitude of podcasts. I have him on. I recorded a podcast with him and Mark, professor, director, author, producer, editor, just a true Renaissance man in Mark Steensland. And we recorded a podcast, me and Quinn did, with Mark before Quinn moved to Hawaii, which will be out later in the month. So I'm very excited for that to be out. But yeah, his team is looking good as well. And he won the league 2 years ago when he first started this league, with Todd Gurley leading the way. And he's the first champion we've had in this league. So he's always going to be a formidable opponent, regardless of who plays him or regardless of who's on his team. He's a smart guy. Then we got Wheaties, which if you know him in person, you can kind of tell. Thomas Wheaton is the name of the owner of this team, which is named Wheaties. He was also on the podcast where me and Andrew, along with Poe and Orion and Chase Lovin, who also has a team here, broke down the NFL offseason, so please give that a listen. Thomas writes for, I believe it's Just Blog Baby. I'm not sure if I think he does. Or Fansided, one of the two, but he's a writer. He knows a lot more about football than me. But if you want to go and read his articles, I'll post some in the description so you can go and read some of Thomas's articles. Then I got my dad. Jamarcus MVP rides again because he's the biggest Jamarcus Russell fan, if you cannot tell. He has a lot of heart. Oh, I gotta say, Thomas won the league last year, so he's public enemy number 1. My dad, he has a lot of heart. He never drops guys, and he never adds guys. So the people he drafts, he rides with and dies with. So come to the conclusion that you want with that information as to how he does usually in fantasy football. Then we got my man Spencer, Papa Spence, Papa Galt himself, Spencer Cyphers. He is a recently became a father. Congratulations again to Spencer and his girlfriend on that. His teams are always comprised of very, very surprising players. He had Alvin Kamara 2 years ago, which he had just exploded on the scene. And then last year he took a bunch of rookies hoping to land the next Alvin Kamara. Didn't really work out for him, but he's going to bounce back this year. I have a feeling. He's a great guy. And he'll be on the podcast soon. He's the only person in this podcast that has not been on the podcast specifically, or he's the only person in this league that has been on the podcast specifically, but he will be on soon, so it's okay. It's fine. He will become an alumni soon enough, so don't get outraged. Then last but definitely not least, I got my man Chase Levin, who has been on 3 podcasts now, I believe. 2 of the political podcasts with Max, the President, Thogmartin, and he's been on that NFL offseason podcast with Andrew Gale, Poe Narayan, and Thomas Wheaton. His team is looking really good too. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and break down these teams. We're going to start with mine, Grave Boys, because I just want to get it out of the way. I will read to you my team, and I will pick 2 players that I believe stand out on each team, because we don't have time to break down each specific player. Honestly, I'm probably going to break that rule, but I'm trying to stick to it. Okay, guys? All right. So first, quarterback, I got Josh Allen. Don't laugh, okay? Don't fucking laugh, all right? Josh Allen, he's going to be one of my guys. I'm going to outline why he's going to be amazing this season, all right? So I got Josh Allen. Then I got running back Damian Williams, running back Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham Jr., Hunter Henry, Sony Michel, Derek Carr, Tariq Cohen, Darius Geis, Tony Pollard, Will Fuller, Marvin Jones, Tyrell Williams. I do not have a kicker yet. I'm going to get a kicker soon. I always wait to get him last. And then I got the Minnesota Vikings defense. So that's my team. And now let me start with Josh Allen, okay? Why did I pick Josh Allen to be my quarterback of this team? Well, I can say that. I can, easily tell you why. I believe through the last 6 weeks of the regular season last year, he was the quarterback 1 in fantasy football. Yeah, quarterback 1. You can look it up. It's the truth. He had no LaShawn McCoy for a majority of that time. He had no receivers and no offensive line, and he was the quarterback 1. Okay? Now he has some decent receivers. I'm not going to say he has amazing top-of-the-line receivers. Okay? I'm not going to say he has an amazing running back core. I'm not going to say he has any better offensive line either. I'm not even going to say they're going to make playoffs. But for fantasy football purposes, is he a great get? Yes, he is. With his ability to run, his ability to throw, and his desire to get it done, it's a no-brainer to take Josh Allen. And if you're just all down on him because he's on the Bills, then you don't know anything. And you're closed-minded. You're fucking closed-minded. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, my second player. Now, I'm just surprised I was able to get Devontae Adams and Odell Beckham Jr. because that wide receiving duo is the best in fantasy football. I don't know how I was able to get that to happen, but I was able to do it. Let's see. I'm going to just talk about... I could talk about every one of these guys. But honestly, all these other guys kind of speak for themselves. I'm going to go with my man Tyrell Williams because he doesn't get enough love. My man Tyrell Williams is going to be a killer threat alongside Antonio Brown this season. He probably will get more points than Antonio Brown this season because Antonio Brown is going to get covered way tighter and most likely will be double teamed more than Tyrell Williams, which will open the possibility of Tyrell Williams to get open more than Antonio Brown, which means Derek Carr will throw to him more, okay? Do you see this easy thought pattern, okay? That's why he should be drafted more. He's only owned in 10% of the leagues. It makes no sense as to why. It really makes zero fucking sense because he was a killer with the Chargers. Both last season and this previous season, he was insane. And it just doesn't make sense as to why he hasn't gotten picked up in more leagues. So if you are debating on who to get off the waiver wire, folks, get him. Trust me, you will thank me later, okay? Overall, I really like my team. I feel like I have some good running backs. Darius Guice, Tariq Cohen. Are they question marks? Sure. But it's PPR. I forgot to mention this league is a PPR league. So it makes sense as to why I would take them. Tony Pollard, I simply took him just because I really want to make sure that if Ezekiel Elliott is out, I can get that value, that fourth pick type value from the waiver wire. That's what I did with James Conner last year, and it worked wonders for me. Even though I didn't win the league, I got into the playoffs. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I took Derek Carr because I love Derek Carr. He's a great guy. So let me move on to the second team in this league. We got Shooter McGavin, which is owned by Jason Harms II. His team, and I did not say the teams in which each player was a member of, which NFL teams each player was a member of when I was talking about my team, so I will do that for every other team. I apologize. Baker Mayfield of the Cleveland Browns, LaShawn McCoy of the Buffalo Bills, Le'Veon Bell of the New York Jets, Jarvis Landry of the Cleveland Browns, Stephon Diggs of the Minnesota Vikings, Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs, Corey Davis of the Tennessee Titans, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, obviously, Tevin Coleman of the San Francisco 49ers, Melvin Gordon of the San Diego Chargers, Damian Harris of the Pats, New England Patriots, Darwin Thompson of the Kansas City Chiefs, and Mecole Hardman of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's got kicker Robbie Gould from the San Francisco 49ers, and he has the Chicago Bears defense. So let's break this team down a little bit. This team has a ton of upside. I'm probably going to say that a lot because it is before the season has started, but it's a preview, okay? I'm going to basically talk about the positives of each team because there's always negative sussery that can go on in every single fucking team. I'm already negative enough in life. I don't want to be negative on my podcast, so I'm going to try to be as positive as possible. I really, really, really like Jarvis Landry this season for the same reason that I like, what's his name for the Raiders? Tyrell Williams. Odell Beckham Jr., although he most likely will have an amazing record-breaking season with Baker Mayfield as his quarterback in Cleveland, I feel like Jarvis Landry will be an amazing PPR wide receiver, and Jason's definitely going to benefit from that. Le'Veon Bell as well, I feel like he, with his fresh legs, will be serviceable. I think he's a great RB2 in fantasy. He obviously has borderline, or if not full-fledged, RB1 potential. So it's a great pick by him. And his most sketchy pick, in my opinion, is Melvin Gordon, man. Is he going to play? I don't think so. I really think he's going to pull a Le'Veon. And I really think that Jason is going to have to drop him mid-season. Look, it worked for Le'Veon Bell. He got his money, and he rested for a whole fucking season. And if you're able to get your money after not doing anything for a season, for a whole year, why the fuck would Melvin Gordon not do it? Why wouldn't he follow in Le'Veon Bell's footsteps and hold out the whole season to get his money, get traded to a team that really wants him? You know, I don't know who that team would be, but somebody will pay that guy. Somebody will. I don't think it's going to be the Chargers because they're cheap as fuck. But, yeah. So I think he's going to take a loss with Gordon. Possibly Tevin Coleman, too. That backfield in the Niners, who knows? Who fucking knows? And with Aaron Rodgers, man, I don't know. Is he going to take a couple steps back? Everyone's thinking he's going to go back to form. But I don't know about all that, man. I don't know. So I say Jason's gonna push people to the limits. Is he gonna have a stellar team? I wouldn't say stellar. He's not gonna be. Is he gonna make playoffs? Only 4 teams make playoffs. I think he'll be a ride on the bubble. I think he's going to go down to the wire, but I don't think he will make it. Just personally. Well, we'll see. He has positives. I like Baker Mayfield. I like Le'Veon Bell. I like Jarvis Landry. Stephon Diggs, wild card. Who knows if Kirk Cousins is going to do any better this next season. But if he does what he did last season, pretty good. Stephon Diggs will be pretty good. And, of course, Travis Kelce is a safety net. You're going to get at least 15 points with him every game. So, who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Next team. We got Andrew Gale's Uncle Drew team. He has Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks, Mark Ingram of the Baltimore Ravens, Ezekiel Elliott of the Dallas Cowboys, Keenan Leanin Dreamin' Allen from the Los Angeles Chargers, Tyreek Hill of the Kansas City Chiefs, Eric Ebron of the Indianapolis Colts, Philip Lindsay from the Denver Broncos, Drew Brees from the Saints, New Orleans Saints, Jordan Howard of the Philadelphia Eagles, Latavius Murray of the New Orleans Saints, Josh Gordon of the New England Patriots, T.Y. Hilton of the Indianapolis Colts, James Washington of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Will Dissly of the Seattle Seahawks. He has no kicker, and he has the Cleveland Browns defense. Okay, so let's start. Oh, man. What do I like about this team? I like that, I said that Drew had a good team, and now that I'm looking at it, and with recent developments in the NFL, with Andrew Luck retiring, with Ezekiel Elliott looking like he's not going to reach a deal before the season starts. This team does not look as good as it once did when we first drafted. We drafted on the 10th or the 11th of August because we wanted to draft before Quinn left for Hawaii. So that kind of screwed a lot of people over, which you will see. Next year, I'm definitely going to try to push off the draft as far as possible. But look, sometimes things got to happen. And the most savviest of owners are going to have to, be as resourceful as possible. Now, with that being said, I really like Mark Ingram this season. I'm not going to fuck around. I like the Ravens offense a lot. They're going to run, and they're going to stick to that. They're not going to falter. Their offensive line is pretty fucking good. It's really good. And when you have Mark Ingram running the ball, along with Kenneth Dixon? Yeah, Kenneth Dixon. And you have basically a third running back in Lamar Jackson, who's going to do nothing but run. In fantasy world, in the fantasy landscape, that is nothing but positivity for your lineup. And Mark Ingram is going to benefit a ton from that. I'm excited to see how he does. Ezekiel Elliott, now look, I don't know what's going to happen with him. It doesn't look like he's going to sign, but I don't believe it's going to be a Melvin Gordon type of thing. I feel like Jerry Jones is going to crack and is going to give him the money that he wants, because at the end of the day, Jerry Jones is fine having deep pockets. We all know that. I mean, he paid Tony Romo, $25 million a year or some bullshit. Come on, man. Tyreek Hill should have been suspended. Maybe he will. It's a kind of a sus thing to take him high, which is what Andrew did. But hey, I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I believe he should get suspended. He broke his son's arm. But the Chiefs have already suffered enough in the NFL's eyes, apparently, because their running back from last season, Kareem Hunt, got already suspended for kicking a lady last season. They already released him, so we can't have the Chiefs just fall apart when you have Patrick Mahomes, who's the heir apparent to the NFL mantle. It's fucking stupid. Where's principles anymore, man? I fucking swear. Eric Ebron and T.Y. Hilton have gotten hurt the most in their stock in fantasy football because of Andrew Luck leaving. So I really don't know what's going to happen there. I really like Jacoby Brissett. I feel like they'll be okay, but I just don't think they'll be able to produce as much as they would with Andrew Luck, obviously. So it's going to be a little bit more of a gamble playing either of them. He's going to have to think more. Andrew's definitely going to have to think a little bit more than he did prior to Andrew Luck's retirement. I like Phillip Lindsay a lot. I feel like he's going to still be a PPR monster this season. And I also like Latavius Murray. He's going to be a goal line back, which is going to steal. He's going to steal some touchdowns from Alvin Kamara. Just wait for that. And I also like Josh Gordon a lot. As much as I hate the fact that Andrew took him in like the 15th round of our draft because no one knew that he was going to get reinstated. I'm on record saying I didn't think he was going to get reinstated, but now look at him now. He's going to get targets, man. Brady's going to find him the ball, and in PPR, man, he's probably going to be RB2 flex player. Like, you could start him every week. I also like the Browns defense a lot. That's why I reached for him in my other league. So, look, Andrew has a good team. But does he have a team that has a lot of upside, a lot of like sleeper, like enticingness, I guess I would say. I don't know. If Ezekiel Elliott comes back, I would say yes. But until he does, man, I don't know. Keenan Allen, he's made of glass, dude. Like, Jordan Howard, is he going to get any touches because of that new kid's that's there, Sanders? Is James Washington really going to get the ball with Dante Moncrief there? Is Will Dissly really going to get the ball? Is Russell Wilson really going to run? He didn't really run last year, man. Let's just be real. He didn't really run last year. There's a lot of questions on this team. Is Tyreek Hill going to get suspended? I believe the surefire things on this team are Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay, Latavius Murray, and Josh Gordon. Honestly. And the Browns defense. Outside of those, players or squads, that's it. Those are the only things that I see as a surefire. You could start them every week and they'll be good. All right, so let's move to the next one. We got my man Evan's Gucci Gangstas. So we will start with quarterbacks, running backs, then wide receivers, tight ends, and then his flex, and then we'll go to his bench. So we got Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals. We got Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings. We have Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns. We have DeAndre Hopkins of the Houston Texans. We got Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. We got Jared Cook of the New Orleans Saints. We have Chris Godwin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have Devonta Freeman of the Atlanta Falcons. We have Duke Johnson of the the Houston Texans. We have Alexander Madison of the Minnesota Vikings. We have Miles Sanders of the Philadelphia Eagles. We have Curtis Samuel of the Carolina Panthers. Marquise Valdes-Scantling of the Green Bay Packers. And we have kicker Mike Badgley of the Los Angeles Chargers. And he has the New Orleans Saints defense. All right, so now that we know that, let's see what is going to happen. What I like Kyler fucking Murray, dude. Now you have to think. You have to remember, everything I'm saying when I say I like somebody, I'm talking about within the fantasy world, okay? I'm not talking about in an actual NFL game. In an actual NFL game, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't really know if I believe in him. I don't believe in that line. But in fantasy football, he's going to run a lot because that line is shit. He's going to chuck the ball downfield a ton right off the bat because that line is shit. He's going to have to make really quick decisions. Is that going to result in turnovers? Yes. Yes, it will. But will it result in yardage? Yes. Because guess who was in a pretty similar situation last year? Josh Allen. Yeah. And what did he finish his last 6 weeks of the season? Quarterback 1. So I believe Kyler Murray is going to be in that same vein. You don't really want to start him in the beginning of the season, he's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Okay? He's not. Or Deshaun Watson. Like, he's not going to be those guys. He's not going to be up there. But is he the type of quarterback that you want to start late in the season when he's starting to get a feel for how the NFL runs and works? Yes, that is what you want come playoff time. Do I believe Evan has the roster to get to the playoffs? Yeah, I do. Because you have Dalvin Cook, okay? I love Dalvin Cook, even though he's gotten injured the past 2 seasons, and it's really hard to gauge where he's at. I just love, I love the potential in that offense for Dalvin Cook. Nick Chubb, okay? Listen, Nick Chubb should be taken in fantasy drafts up with David Johnson and Christian McCaffrey and Saquon and Alvin Kamara. He should be in there, but he's not for some reason. Evan got a steal here with Nick Chubb. He has DeAndre Hopkins. He has Cooper Kupp. He has fucking Jared Cook. I don't know who loves their tight end more than Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints. Jared Cook is going to get targets. You have Chris Godwin, who's going to get targeted by Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay. It's going to happen. Come on, man. Like, his starting lineup is arguably the best in the league. Just right off the bat. And he has Alexander Mattison, who is a stud, dude. He's a fucking stud. And he has both running backs for the Vikings, Alexander Mattison and Dalvin Cook, who are both really, really good. He has Miles Sanders, who I believe is the running back to have in Philly. He has decent backup receivers. I mean, Curtis Samuel. Who else are you going to throw to in Carolina? Is he going to get a lot of volume? I mean, no, because Cam Newton's probably just going to be running a lot or throwing the ball away. But I think Curtis Samuel has a lot of upside, and I believe MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, is a really good pickup too. I believe they're low floor, but yet high ceiling type guys. You know, they're hit or miss, but look, if they hit, man, you're sold. And if you have those two types of you have those 3 receivers, and DeAndre Hopkins, Cooper Kupp, and Chris Godwin on your squad already, you can take flyers on a guy like Curtis Samuel or MVS. Like, you can do that. Look, his kicker, Mike Badgley, decent kicker. He did really well last year. He got 74 points, which is not bad. But yeah, man, I think Evan's squad is looking solid as hell. I feel like he's going to definitely be in the playoffs, if not contending for that championship in the last week 16 of the fantasy season. I believe he will be there. His team is that good, even if Kyler Murray is on his squad, because he can always drop Kyler Murray for like Jameis Winston, who is still available in our league somehow. So yeah, props to you, Evan, if you're listening and if you're out there. You did good, in my eyes. Let's see. We got my mom's team, Rojo y Oro. Now, it's funny with my mom and her team. Before I start listing her team, she took Kerryon Johnson in the first round. Yeah, I know. She thought she was taking David Johnson, bless her heart. But she took Kerryon Johnson. But guess who she got in the second round, man? She got Michael fucking Thomas in the second round. Now, that's a first round talent. Fell to her in the second round. She made up for it, okay? I could see taking Kerryon Johnson in the second round. I understand that. But getting Michael Thomas in the second round, that's wild. So basically, think of her getting actually Michael Thomas in the first round, Kerryon Johnson in the second round. If you look at it that way, her team doesn't seem as like lopsided or weird, okay? So let's go pick by pick. She's got Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs, Peyton Barber of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kerryon Johnson of the Detroit Lions, Adam Thielen, her man Adam Thielen, she loves Adam Thielen, of the Minnesota Vikings, Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints, Mark Andrews, tight end Mark Andrews, if you don't know, he's a tight end for the Baltimore Ravens. She has Chris Carson of the Seattle Seahawks, Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens, Austin Eckler of the Los Angeles Chargers, Darrell Henderson of the Los Angeles Rams, Dante motherfucking Pettis of the SF 49ers, Allen Robinson of the Chicago Bears, Kyle Rudolph of the Minnesota Vikings, kicker Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens, and Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Now, let me just say, my mom was very down on her team when she first drafted, and I'm not going to lie, I had my reservations, but after reading this over a couple times and really thinking about it, this is a good team, man. And I'm not just saying that because she's my mom. Like, look, if you have Patrick Mahomes on your team, you already have, like, if your team's like a C minus, you add Patrick Mahomes to that team, it becomes a B, like a solid B. So Patrick Mahomes does wonders for your team if he continues to produce like he did last season. I really like her wide receiver combo, man. Like Adam Thielen and Michael Thomas, that's killer. That's fucking killer. They're both amazing. They're both so good. They can get open while they're covered. They both have quarterbacks that are going to throw it to them all the time. There's nothing but opportunity there for them. I also love Chris Carson of the Seattle Seahawks. I believe he was the 5th running back last season. And he was getting taken in like the 4th round or 5th round of not just our draft, but just in drafts in general. It's insane. He deserves more love. Love Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson. Like everyone thinks he's going to do bad this season, but you have to think of it again through the fantasy perspective. Through the fantasy perspective, he's going to run a lot. His line, not that bad. He's there. Yeah, are they going to stack the box against him? Yeah, but if you stack the box against him, he's quick enough to at least get the ball off and hit you with a screen. He's going to keep the defense honest. He's going to run. He's going to get touchdowns with his feet. It's going to happen. Would you want him as your franchise quarterback? No, because he's going to get hurt like soon, and he's never going to be able to play again. He's going to have the RG3 effect. Everyone knows it. Okay, yes, you are correct, Andrew. I know. He sucks. All right, whatever. But when in fantasy football, he has a lot of upside. You can't deny that. Then she has Austin Eckler, who is going to inherit most of the touches from Melvin Gordon being out. Huge pick she got. And Darrell Henderson, who's going to also take some of the workload away from Todd Gurley. And he's looking really good in practice, man. Really good. My only reservation is that, look, like her running backs, aside from Austin Eckler and Darrell Henderson and Kerryon Johnson, like Peyton Barber, who knows what's going to happen with that running back field? I really don't know if Peyton Barber's going to be the guy. I really think Ronald Jones II might take it. And I feel like she could have gotten a better value pick with Kyle Rudolph. I feel like, he was there and he has some potential. That offense is nice, but I feel like she could have taken somebody that has a little bit higher of a ceiling. Also, I don't believe Allen Robinson's going to do that good this year because I feel like Mitchell Trubisky will regress, and I feel like Dante Pettis, as much as she loves her San Francisco 49ers, I don't know if he's going to really produce either because I don't think Garoppolo is going to be that good. I feel like they're going to sub him out mid-season, and they're going to put in Nick Mullins, and he's going to do way better. But that's just me. That's my opinion. It's my fucking podcast. So, yeah. Good job, Mom. Proud of you. I really feel like you're going to contend for a playoff spot. You probably will get in. Will you make it to the final? I do not believe so because of some other teams that are built in this league, but you will contend. I feel like it'll be a good year for you. You did good. Now, next, we got first inaugural champion of the league, the Stockton Slappers, which is owned by Quinn the Moondog Kalani. We will start breaking down his team right now. Okay. So he's got Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers, Leonard Fournette of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Christian McCaffrey of the Carolina Panthers, Brandon Cooks of the Los Angeles Rams, Mike Williams of the Los Angeles Chargers, OJ Howard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Derrick Henry of the Tennessee Titans, Carson Wentz of the Philadelphia Eagles, Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers, Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals, Mohamed Sanu of the Atlanta Falcons, and also Austin Hooper of the Atlanta Falcons. He has kicker Greg Zuerlein from the Los Angeles Rams, and he has two defenses. Damn, two defenses in the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Chargers, two premier defenses in the NFL. Interesting choices. So I will start by saying, do I like his team? Not really, no. Aside from Christian McCaffrey, that's really all I like on this team, honestly. And Greg Zuerlein. How can you not like Greg Zuerlein, man? Like he's electric. He's automatic as a kicker. Everybody else though, man, I don't know. I don't think Cam Newton's going to be this good. He's not going to be that good this year. I mean, as I alluded to in a previous team's synopsis, I feel like he's just going to be either throwing things away or is going to be running, you know? I don't see him. I don't see the offense really going through him anymore. I feel like it's going to be going through Christian McCaffrey, honestly. And that's why he's the only bright spot of this team, in my opinion. Leonard Fournette, I feel like, is not going to have that good of a season in Jacksonville. That line is not that good. And I feel like Nick Foles, as a backup, as an Energizer Bunny of sorts, coming off the bench, that's his role. As a starter, he's just not that type of guy. It's like with Fitzpatrick, the quarterback Fitzpatrick for the Miami Dolphins. He's historically able to produce in the beginning of the season, and as the season goes on, he just unravels and turns to complete dog shit. I feel like Nick Foles is kind of the same ilk, but where if you take him and make him the starter, he's going to be horrible. Whereas if you make him your backup, put him in tight situations, he'll get you through. But can he carry your team the entire season? I don't know about that. Some guys just have different, are just made different, you know? Nick Foles is the type of guy who can come off the bench and help you out. Whereas Fitzpatrick, he's able to start for your team in the first 4 games. He'll kill it. After that, you don't really want him on your team. You don't really want him to go out there. Magic goes away. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing with Jacksonville. And I feel like Leonard Fournette is going to be negatively impacted by that. There's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs on that offense. They really don't have a whole lot of receivers, honestly. They don't. Their line's not that good. I just feel like that offense and the defenses are going to be playing against this season are going to be very formidable. It's not going to be easy for them. Christian McCaffrey, I love him. I would have taken him first. I would have taken him, yeah. If I had the first pick in any of my drafts, I would have taken him first. I love that guy. He's the only guy they have, and they're going to just run him into the ground, which is horrible for him, but it's great for fantasy players. Brandon Cooks, who knows what's going to happen, man? Is Goff going to be that good? I don't know. Mike Williams, same thing. Is Rivers going to regress? Yes, he will this season. Sorry, Chargers fans. Sorry, Anthony. O.J. Howard. Is Jameis Winston really going to be that good? I don't know. I really don't know. Bruce Arians can work wonders, but I mean, that guy's a different animal. Really hard-headed. Derrick Henry. Actually, I like Derrick Henry. I like him a lot. I'm sorry, I glossed over that. Derrick Henry's good. He's going to have a lot of opportunities in that offense. And with Mariota and Tannehill kind of being, kind of a committee quarterback, room, whatever thing you want to call it. I feel like he's gonna kind of carry the workload. So I really like the Derrick Henry pick. I know a lot of people are down on him, man, but I honestly they gotta run it with somebody, right? They have to. In goal line situations, they're gonna have to run somebody, and that's the dude. Like, come on. Carson Wentz, I mean, he can come back. I mean, who knows? Aaron Jones, I feel like is gonna get hurt. He's always been hurt. Larry Fitzgerald. Love Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know. It's just, do I believe in Kyler Murray? I don't think so. For fantasy, not, like I said, not in the first part of the season. As the season goes on, he gets his feet under him. Yeah, sure. Maybe. Mohamed Sanu and Austin Hooper, Those guys are who knows, man? Like, the fucking Falcons couldn't get in the red zone last season at all. They couldn't do anything last season. It was horrible on offense for them. Matt Ryan could barely be protected. Like, it was atrocious to watch. Those were all dogfights they were in, and they lost really close games because they couldn't get and execute in the red zone. So if there's not going to be touchdowns to be had if that continues, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to make of them. And then both defenses, like, I really don't think the Eagles are going to be as good this year. They've lost pieces, and the Chargers are all banged up in their secondary. Like I've said to people before, the Chargers secondary is made of glass. Yeah, that's how it is. So I'm sorry, Quinn. I love you. You're a brother, but your team, man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not putting you into the playoffs. All right. Now we got Thomas Wheaton's team, Wheaties. Let's see. You got Jared Goff of the Los Angeles Rams, James Conner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints, Julian Edelman of the New England Patriots, Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Evan Ingram of the New York Giants, David Montgomery of the Chicago Bears, Kalen Ballage, oh yeah, oh fuck yeah, of the Miami Dolphins, Royce Freeman of the Denver Broncos, Kenny Golladay of the Detroit Lions, AJ Green of the Cincinnati Bengals, Emmanuel Sanders of the Denver Broncos, David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns. And then he has Harrison Butker, he is the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Detroit Lions defense. The Detroit Lions what? The Detroit Lions? Their what? All right, well, obviously he knows something I don't. I would love to hear his reasoning as to why he picked up Detroit Lions defense, because honestly, they have nothing to show for any sort of consistency. Maybe they do, I just haven't looked into it. Maybe it's like that Josh Allen thing. Like, you hear Josh Allen, you're like, oh, that guy fucking sucks, but then he's like, oh, no, he was the best quarterback last 6 weeks of the season in fantasy. Maybe it's that sort of thing. I don't know, but that surprises me a lot. Let's see. I really like Alvin Kamara, and I really like James Conner. He has really good running backs. Those two guys, man, let me tell you, they're gonna run rampant over this league. They definitely are. Mike Evans, I am not a believer in. I've been saying that for a while. I don't think Jameis Winston's the guy. I'm sorry, but I just don't think he is. I don't think that offense is going to be that good. I feel like Bruce Arians is kind of coming into a situation, kind of not half-assing it. I'm not going to say that. But when you have a plan for your future that you're going to be retired, and then all of a sudden you just jump out of it, you have to quickly adjust. I feel like, I don't know, it wasn't thought out that much. It's kind of like Gruden in Oakland. Like, it was just such a spur of the moment type of thing. Like, you saw it last season. They had no plan. They had no fucking clue what they were doing. The team didn't. The front office didn't. The coaching staff didn't know anything. The fan base didn't even know what to do. Maybe next season will be their year for Tampa Bay, but I'm not a believer in Mike Evans. Sorry. Evan Ingram. I loved Evan Ingram because who else are they going to fucking throw it to? Who else? Sterling, is that his name? Sterling Shepard is hurt. He won't be back till like week 2 or something. At least in the beginning of the season, you can get some value out of him, and I feel like they're always going to be targeting Evan Ingram. David Montgomery, now let me tell you about that guy, man. That guy's fucking killer. He's going to be really good. I mean, he was so good that he took Tariq Cohen's starting spot on the depth chart. If he hasn't already, he's definitely going to. Great pickup. Now, my man Kalen Ballage, okay? Kenyon Drake sucks. I'm sorry. He was a great fantasy player last year and possibly the year before because of opportunity. But Kalen Ballage is a superior player. I know that Flores, the coach of the Miami Dolphins, sees that. He's going to get more opportunities. He's the guy to get. Trust me. He might not be good in the beginning. It's like Nick Chubb last year. He didn't get a whole lot of opportunities because Carlos Hyde was there, blah, blah, blah. But Kalen Ballage is the guy you want in the long run. He will be a first or second round running back choice next year in fantasy football. Jump on him now if you're in dynasty leagues or whatever. Trust me. Yeah, overall, man, this is a solid squad. Is he going to contend for playoffs? I believe he will. It all depends on his two running backs, his two bell cows. I hate to use the term, but I mean, that's what they are. James Conner and Alvin Kamara. Those are the guys. They're his guys, man. His road to the playoffs starts and stops with them. So if they can produce, he will get there. If they can't, they won't. For now, I'll keep him on the bubble with Jason's team. But look, like, they have a shot. I like this team better than Jason's. I'm sorry, but that I just do. Julian Edelman is always going to get the ball, man. Come on. Jared Goff is the question mark, really, for me. And I like David Njoku. He has a good tight ends, but yeah. Anyways, moving along. My dad's team. Jamarcus MVP rides again. So my man has Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, James White of the New England Patriots, Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants, Robert Woods of the Los Angeles Rams, Amari Cooper of the Dallas Cowboys, Zach Ertz of the Philadelphia Eagles, Calvin Ridley of the Atlanta Falcons, Phillip Rivers of the Los Angeles Chargers, Kareem Hunt of the Cleveland Browns, Ito Smith of the Atlanta Falcons, Sammy Watkins of the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, and Trey Burton of the Chicago Bears. He also has Will Lutz, the kicker for the New Orleans Saints. And he has two defenses like Quinn does, in the Los Angeles Rams defense and also the Houston Texans defense. Two premier defenses. Good draft capital, trade capital. You can get a solid player for one of them, probably, at this point of the season. But let's talk about his main team. Do I like this team? I like parts of it. Look, he has Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers as his quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know, man. I have more faith in Brady than Rivers, but look, Rivers has higher upside. My dad drafted Andrew Luck. That was going to be his guy, but now he's gone. Yeah. My dad got hurt the most out of that entire thing in this league. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if Brady's going to be that good of a fantasy option. I don't believe he will. I feel like Rivers is going to be the better fantasy option, but even then, is he going to get you over the hump? I don't know. You might have to drop both of them during the season. Get a different quarterback. Get somebody else in there. I don't know. James White. I like James White still. Saquon, of course, is going to be a monster. Robert Woods. Yeah. Why not? Why is he not going to be good? They're basically running the same offense, and he's proven to be able to get open whenever he really needs to within the play. Amari Cooper, I like. I had him last year, and I really like Amari Cooper. I feel like in Dallas, he's going to be he's utilized correctly in Dallas, which is so great for him. I'm so happy for him. He was underutilized and just put in these horrible positions in Oakland. It's just, oh God, don't get me started, but I like Amari. Zach Ertz, we'll see. Is Carson Wentz going to be able to stay upright? I don't know. Calvin Ridley, again, everyone on the Falcons offense, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't have faith in them. I'm sorry. I need to see results before I have faith in them again. Last season was horrible, and I had fucking, what's his name? Julio Jones, and he was shit for me. So I just I don't even touch Falcons players anymore. I'm sorry. It's just personal vendetta. He also has Kareem Hunt. When will we see him again? I don't know, if at all this season, unless Nick Chubb gets hurt, which could very well happen. But My dad might luck out if Nick Chubb gets hurt. My dad maybe sneaks in Kareem Hunt in his starting lineup, and my dad's in the hunt for in the hunt for a playoff spot. Maybe they'll put him over the hump, but for now, it's not really looking that good. Ito Smith, again, Falcons. I just can't trust him. Sammy Watkins, like Sammy Watkins, I was iffy on him, but I've realized, he's going to get opportunity with Kareem Hunt not there anymore. They're going to be looking for a number 2 receiver alongside Tyreek Hill. I think Sammy Watkins is going to be pretty good. He should start him over Calvin Ridley, in my opinion. And Trey Burton, solid tight end option for Trubisky. He's going to need an out all the time, so that'll be Trey Burton for him. The 2 defenses, though, I don't know what the thought process was there. Why not take a flyer on another running back or receiver that you like instead of taking 2 defenses? You can only play 1 defense at a time. I mean, I get it, you want options, but if I were you, Dad, trade either the Rams or the Texans defense to get more value on your team. Because right now you're kind of lacking in your bench. You don't want to have an empty bench, and you kind of do. All these guys are really questionable. There's no surefire plug-and-play guys on your bench. With that being said, do I like this team overall? I mean, Saquon's, of course, the gem of this team, but it is lacking some consistency, some surefire things. Nobody's really surefire, in my opinion, in this PPR format other than James White and Saquon Barkley. And possibly Robert Woods. Everybody else is just really up in the air. Especially Kareem Hunt, because you don't know when the fuck he's going to play again. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Do I have him in playoffs? No, I don't. I'm sorry. It's not because I have a vendetta against you. It's nothing personal, Dad. It's not. It's just because you didn't draft that well. Could you come into the playoffs during the season? Yes. Use the waiver wire for once. Do something with your team other than just ride it out. It's what you did last year, and you missed playoffs. Why? Because you didn't change anything. You had many opportunities to change it up. You would have made playoffs if you did, but you didn't. So don't make the same mistake, please. Now, my man Spencer Cyphers, Gulp Boys. His team. He has Deshaun Watson of the Tennessee... Oh my God, why do I keep saying Tennessee Titans when I mean the Houston Texans? Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans. David Johnson of the Arizona Cardinals. Joe Mixon of the... Cincinnati Bengals. Antonio Brown of the Oakland Raiders. Juju Smith-Schuster of the... God, dude, I'm super tired. I can't even think. Of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Vance McDonald of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tyler Boyd of the Cincinnati Bengals, Kenyon Drake of the Miami Dolphins, Rashad Penny of the Seattle Seahawks, Adrian Peterson of the Washington Redskins, Geronimo Allison of the Green Bay Packers, N'Keal Harry, N'Keal motherfucking Harry, man, of the Patriots, New England Patriots, Christian Kirk of the Arizona Cardinals, and he has kicker Stephen Gostkowski of the New England Patriots, and also the Denver Browns defense, or Denver Broncos defense. Oh my God. Okay. Now, do I like this team? I actually do. I actually really like this team. I know that most people wouldn't really look at the team and be like, wow, this is a playoff caliber type of team. But I really think so. When you have a guy like Deshaun Watson who has never averaged less than 21 points a game in fantasy speak, that adds a lot to your roster, man. That adds a lot to your team. You also have David Johnson, who, am I a believer in him? Not really, but do I think he's going to be good this season? Sure, if he stays healthy. I just don't believe that he'll be healthy. If he's healthy, yes, sure, yeah, he's going to be good, but I don't believe that he will be healthy. If he does stay healthy, this team will be amazing. Joe Mixon, look, a lot of people are down and out about Joe Mixon, man, but I really think he's going to be good this season because who else do you have on that team? It's like with the Panthers running back, Christian McCaffrey. Who else do you have on that team to do anything? Like, in the Panthers' case, you don't have a quarterback that's as mobile anymore in Cam Newton. He's just not as mobile as he used to be. So McCaffrey is going to be looked at to be that guy, to get him the extra yards, to be that grit of the team. And that's what Joe Mixon's going to be looked at as too. Honestly, like, Andy Dalton's not going to get it done with his feet. They really don't have any receivers other than Tyler Boyd, who Spencer also has. You know, like, this guy in fantasy terms, through a fantasy perspective, is a great pickup. His running backs are amazing. I love both. Antonio Brown, obviously question marks. Obviously people love to shit on him and the Raiders. You know, they love nothing but to see the Raiders fail. I understand. But looking at this through an objective lens, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Antonio Brown. He's still very talented, regardless of attitude, regardless of any drama. Very talented receiver. I feel like he will get his own. Will he be an RB1? Probably not. More like RB2, maybe flex. Because, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and think that the Raiders are going to turn it around in one season. That's never been the case. But I think they'll be better, and I think Antonio Brown will make some noise. He's going to score touchdowns. He's going to get points. It's not like he's going to go out there and just do nothing. They're going to throw him the ball. He's going to have opportunity. Same with Juju Smith-Schuster, man. Like, that guy's going to ball out this season. Vance McDonald, now that there aren't the obvious targets in Brown and excuse me, Le'Veon Bell on the Steelers anymore, they're going to have to throw it to somebody. And Juju Smith-Schuster and Vance McDonald are the two guys they're going to throw it to. It's just, it's obvious. After watching last season, that's the direction that team is going to go. They're going to have opportunity. Tyler Boyd is going to be the only receiver to have really any opportunity on the Bengals. This starting lineup for Spencer's team, the Galt Boys, has nothing but just like amazing opportunities for them, each individually. And I'm pretty impressed with his drafting ability and who he got. Kenyon Drake, not really a fan of him. I feel like he's going to get supplanted by, what's his name? His backup, who I was really high on, and now I can't think of his name because it's like really late. Kalen Ballage. There we go. Kalen Ballage. Rashad Penny of the Seattle Seahawks. Not a fan of him. Will not be a fan of him. He's a fool. He's a fool. I'm sorry. You're never going to start him, Spencer. So if I were you, I'd drop him. Try to get somebody else that actually has some sort of upside, because Chris Carson and CJ Procise are going to be leading that backfield. And Adrian Peterson, dude, sneaky pick. I feel I picked up Darius Geis in my team in this league. But honestly, the more I thought about it, the more I think I'm wrong. I think Darius Geis isn't going to be ready to go in the season, and you're going to definitely see that. And Adrian Peterson's going to again be a starting running back for the Redskins. It's going to be really cool to see. I think he has a lot of value, and good for Spencer for taking him. Geronimo Allison, I think he's the receiver to get outside of Devontae Adams for the Packers. Love Geronimo Allison. He's going to be the number 2 guy. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to sling it around the field. Now, is he going to throw picks? Is he going to be good? I don't know. But there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Geronimo Allison. And in Lambeau, with the type of schedule they have, which is arguably fairly easy, which is normally how it is for them, he's gonna be able to get some catches. He's going to be able to burn some lesser skilled cornerbacks and safeties, and he's going to be able to get some fucking touchdowns. So, yeah. N'Keal Harry. Let me talk about N'Keal Harry, man. This guy is electric. He's gonna break out, and Spencer's gonna. I can't believe Spencer has N'Keal Harry. He's put on a show in training camp and in the preseason for the Patriots. Tom Brady loves the guy. He loves to throw to him, and if you can get Tom Brady to love to throw to you, you're gonna have a place in fantasy football. We've seen that, regardless of his age or any sort of thing. He's gonna be a force. Christian Kirk, I love Christian Kirk. That's all I'm gonna say about him. He's gonna get opportunity too. And then Broncos defense, man, with Bradley Chubb and fucking Miller, like, dude, come on. And Roby, dude, like, that defense is pretty good. His team is pretty good. I'm putting him in the playoffs. He has nothing but upside on his team, man. He just took nothing but upside on everybody. There's no high floor type players. It's all high ceiling guys, and I love that. I love that so much because a lot of them are gonna hit. It's reasonable. You take them, and yeah, they have high ceilings, and maybe they're not gonna reach those ceilings, but it's reasonable to think that they will. It's not like this pipe dream type shit, you know. I like Spencer. I'm putting him in the playoffs. And then we got the last team that I'm sorry right now. I'm putting it in playoffs too. Chase Lovin's team, Indy win. Got Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Todd Gurley, running back of the Los Angeles Rams. Marlon Mack, running back of the Indianapolis Colts. Julio Jones, wide receiver of the Atlanta Falcons. Tyler Lockett, wide receiver of the Seattle Seahawks. George Kittle, tight end of the San Francisco 49ers. Alshon Jeffrey, wide receiver of the Philadelphia Eagles. Quarterback Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. Lamar Miller, who is now on injured reserve for the Houston Texans. DJ Moore, wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers. Sterling Shepard of the New York Giants. Dede Westbrook of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Jack Doyle, tight end of the Indianapolis Colts. He also has Adam Vinatieri, who's the kicker of the Colts, and the Baltimore Ravens defense. Now, let me tell you why I think this team is going to be in the playoffs. Now, this team, on paper, like just reading it over, doesn't seem to be that formidable. But I really believe that with the absence of Zeke, although last season he struggled a lot, I feel like Dak Prescott, for fantasy, he's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be pretty good. Todd Gurley is still going to have production. He's still going to do stuff. Is he going to be able to be a 3-down back? No, he's not. But is he still going to get points in a PPR format? Oh, you fucking bet. You bet he will. Marlon Mack, same thing. Is he going to be as good as he was with Luck? Most likely not. But they're going to run more with him. They're going to put the load a little bit more on him because they can't fully trust Brissett yet. That bodes well for Chase. He's going to probably rattle off like 5 wins in a row because of just those 2 guys, or just those 3 guys, in my opinion. Is Julio Jones going to be good? Now, I'm not a believer in the Atlanta Falcons offense, but if you're Julio Jones and you haven't been into the red zone in 2 fucking years, yes. Like, I think it's time that the offensive coordinator for the Falcons finally draw plays to get Julio in the end zone and scoring points. I think now is the time. If anybody on that offense is going to benefit from a sort of changing of the ideology of that Atlanta Falcons offense, I think it's going to be Julio Jones. Tyler Lockett, same thing. The reason why I wasn't really high, one of the reasons why I wasn't really high on Andrew's team, Uncle Drew, is because of Russell Wilson. He doesn't run as much. He throws the ball a lot more. That's all he kind of does now. He'll run to evade pressure, but he doesn't run to gain yards. Okay, so yes, he does mobile, but he doesn't run and slide. He mainly rolls out right, rolls out left, and then throws the ball. That's his thing. That bodes well for nobody other than Tyler Lockett, because DK Metcalf is probably not going to be able to catch a ball because he has no hands. So Tyler Lockett is going to be a really good fantasy player. I really wanted him on my team. George Kittle, he's going to break out more this year. I think he's going to rival Travis Kelce, because I feel like with Nick Mullins and Jimmy Garoppolo, those 2 guys are going to need a safety net with that offensive line, man. It's George Kittle's that guy. So in PPR, it's amazing. Alshon Jeffrey, who knows about him? I'm still not really sure if he's going to do anything, but he has talent, man. He has talent. He's on the Eagles. The Eagles are a decent team, pretty good team. I mean, they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so yeah. Really, everything just stops there as to what I like about this team. I like Sterling Shepard when he comes back from injury, and I like I liked Lamar Miller, but he's hurt now. So that's really it. Everybody else is just kind of D.D. Westbrook, Jack Doyle, Matt Ryan, DJ Moore. I'm not really fans of any of them. There's just too many question marks for me, especially with Jack Doyle. I mean, you already have George Kittle. You don't really need another tight end. I would drop Jack Doyle and Lamar Miller for somebody else. I would try to trade DJ Moore. I'm not a fan of Carolina receivers. I'm just not. I don't think there's enough volume there. And if anybody were to get targets, it's not DJ Moore. It's that other receiver for Carolina that I talked about earlier in the podcast. But I'm putting him in the playoffs because his starting lineup, dude, I really like his starting lineup. When I read off the names, it doesn't sound like it's that good, but when I put it in perspective for everybody, yeah. And also, the Cowboys' schedule is pretty fucking easy too. Bodes well for Dak. So that's it. So my 4 playoff teams that I have, if I remember correctly, is my mom, Evan, Spencer, and Chase. Who's going to go to the playoffs? I feel like Evan will get to the championship game. I feel like Spencer will meet him there. And the winner, I don't know who the winner will be out of that. But yeah, so that's basically that, man. We are basically out of time. I just wanted to break down those teams so everybody can kind of get a grip on see who is to see who's kind of on which team, and all that. But yeah, I've been talking for about an hour. This is like the longest closing out the week that I've ever done, which is just me. And if you've listened to this point, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed me breaking down and just rambling about fantasy football and my opinions on fantasy football for the past hour. If not, whatever. You're not listening to this anyways. But yeah, please follow us on at the Closers Podcast on Instagram, at Closers Podcast on Facebook, and we follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Closers Podcast. Next, closing out the week, we will have some guests from the league on to preview week 1 of the NFL season through the lens of this fantasy football league, the Closers Podcast Alumni League. Also on Tuesday, we have Alley Cat Photography coming on the podcast. My good friend Allie and her partner Mackenzie are going to be on to talk about photography and the photography business and their journey going from not really doing photography for a while to now having a full-fledged business in it, and they're hoping to grow it some more, which is why I'm more than happy to assist them in getting their word out, getting their name out there a little bit more. Yeah. Please listen into those. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more fantasy football and Closers Podcast coverage. Thank you. Take care. Have a great weekend.